welcome back to Forever in High School. Here I am again, filming at night. It is currently 9:36 at night, and the lighting is not that great. Obviously, I'm no professional here. I'm choosing to film a lot at night because sometimes I make videos during the day, but I look back at it and I go, no, I don't think so. I'm gonna talk about what you need for your bell ringers, bell work, do now, do first. I don't know what else people call them. And before I go any further, I just want to give a shout out to my colleague, Coraline, if she's watching this at all ever. What I'm about to reveal to you, avid YouTube watcher, is something that she actually came up with and I just stole, and it has worked for me this past year, and I'm never gonna not use it ever again. It seems like every video my puppy is freaking out or something. You okay? I know I'm talking loud. First of all, if you don't have a bell ringer, bell work, do now, do first. If you do not have that procedure at the start of class, start doing it now because it changed my life. I always go back to my first year of teaching because that was just the worst so far. It wasn't that bad. Now looking back on it, I know that I could have done certain things to make it better. But the one thing that was lacking was having procedures, and one of those procedures was the procedure for entering the classroom. I do the do nows on a weekly basis. So what my procedure is, the kids come in, they look at the Google Slides that's displayed, and for English I usually have a prompt for them, like a deep philosophical prompt or an opinion prompt, and they write that. Maybe I should back up. So on Mondays they come into class, they pick up their do now paper that is usually in the basket at the front of the class. Now the only requirement is they need to have the date, the prompt, and they need to explain thoroughly, meaning they can't just have one or two sentences. They actually have to explain in detail what they're talking about. So that's what they do every single day. It's just that on Mondays, that's when they grab a new paper. Usually the prompts that are on the slides are related to the lesson somehow, so I try to tie that in. And then on Fridays, they write a free write, so they can write whatever they want. They can use this time maybe to de-stress. They could write banana, 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 banana. And I've had that done before, many a time. And it's fine, because they're writing, they're just using that as some free writing, and that's totally okay. And then when they're finished on Fridays, they take their do now sheet and put it in the turn-in basket. Okay, so let's get down to the nitty-gritty. So I just told you the procedures for Mondays, Fridays, every day for do nows. Okay, now here's the cool part that I got from my friend Coraline, who's also a teacher at my school. She's awesome with her ideas. So what I do now, after the 6 minutes are up to complete the do now, I go to my clothespin. I say, good morning, everybody. I'm gonna pick somebody. Who is it gonna be? Get my fingers in there, grab a clothespin. Oh, so-and-so. Okay, share your do now. Everybody claps. And then that person shares their do now. Sometimes I'll interact with them. Sometimes it'll turn into a class discussion, and then we clap for that person and they sit down. And sometimes I'll grab another clothespin or two more clothespins. And so 10 minutes into class, at least 2 people have spoken. What this does is not only builds kids up in public speaking, because we all know it's really hard for people in general to just speak in public. It also builds class community in a way. I thoroughly go over this explanation, this purpose of doing do nows like this every day, just to reiterate to the kids that we need to learn to be kind to each other. We need to have compassion for all. And this procedure is a demonstration of doing just that. We do this every single day except for Fridays. If someone is using that time to express themselves, expressing something personal, I leave that alone. I don't want them to share out that kind of information. if they're not comfortable. Oh, and here's the other thing. I'm sorry if this is really all over the place. You probably won't even understand how this procedure works by the time this video is done. I'm so sorry. So say if there is a student, I call their name in the clothespin and they just do not want to share their opinion right now. They don't want to share what they wrote. That is totally fine. What I do is give that person a choice. So they can either have someone volunteer for them to share what they wrote, because maybe they just don't want to speak, but they want to share what was written, or someone else could volunteer and share theirs. So that doesn't mean that this person is off the hook. I just put their clothespin back in the basket so that next time they could possibly be chosen. This is really cool because in an average class of 20 to 25 maybe, because that's how many kids I had this year, each kid spoke publicly with their do now at least 2 or 3 times in a month. And that's huge. I love this do now procedure. Oh, and there's also candy involved as well, which is always a great incentive no matter what age group you teach. So I have a candy jar, and I don't give candy as like a reward. I give candy because I want to tell them that I appreciate they're willing to verbally share what they wrote. Because it's scary, you know? It's scary to share your thoughts. And I gotta tell you, this procedure rocks. Not one person was mean to the other person at any moment when someone shared. Everyone was very empathetic and actually listened to the person sharing. And I'm going to hold on to this procedure for as long as I can. And it's all thanks to my friend, Coraline. I think the only downside of having this procedure is that I have to buy candy every once in a while. But when you're a teacher, you buy stuff out of pocket anyway. And I honestly think that it's worth it. If it is getting kids to not only be prepared to speak publicly, gain confidence, practice empathy, listen to other people's point of views on certain subjects, then it's worth it. I don't mind buying candy. I really don't. And there are some students that see the candy as a reward, so they will just always want to volunteer and share. Bye!